Hello everybody, Walt here. Welcome to episode 29 of my Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Space Dot and DLC. In the previous episode, we continued building out our second base on the neighboring asteroid with a hot polluted oxygen vent tamer and a tamed iron volcano. But towards the end of that episode, we also ran into some power supply issues on our main base, so that's going to be the focus for this episode. So without further ado, let's jump back into the game and have a look. And here we are back on Dribbling at the hot polluted oxygen vent we tamed last time. But as I said, for today the main goal is over at Biome, dealing with our power supply issues caused by, well, us simply running out of coal. But before I start working on that, let's quickly go back to Dribbling and put down quite a few building and digging orders at the top here so my dupes have something to do and don't idle while we're working on Biome. And that should do the trick. I'm basically clearing out everything over here that is not a geyser or a plug slug chamber. I am, by the way, also getting rid of the pre-existing structures, as you can see over there and over here, since they are just in the way. Now, it's finally time to work on a Biome. For that, I'm going to grab myself my digger Gossman here and bring him over, since I am going to do a lot of digging and building over there, and 2 diggers are better than just 1. Now, let's go to our improvised power setup over here. Now, I did some calculations and it turns out I have enough stone hedges to power 2 coal generators, but I also need coal for diamond and steel production down here, so I'm going to limit myself to 1 coal generator. The rest of the power will be provided via natural gas and petroleum generators. But first of all, I'll need to get rid of all of these buildings here. And I almost forgot to actually move the auto sweeper out of the way. Now, anyway, let's continue with the natural gas generators. I am starting with 2 raised above the floor because I'll have to get a bit tricky with the pipes here in the background. So for that, I'm going to go in the F7 overlay. And I first have to actually snip off the inputs in those spots, so I can get my connections to the top there. Then the same for the second one. Just have to wait until the pipes here have cleared out enough. So that should be all I need. Now let's grab a couple bridges and bridge those spots here. Then I can connect these pipes and these 2 pipes, which go to the actual output. Then I'm also going to connect down here and then over there. This will be the input for the natural gas, which should work quite nicely. Yeah, everything is connected up properly. Now I need the natural gas from down here, so I need once more a couple of these here. Just have to make sure everything clears out properly, and this one here will have to be cleared out manually. Then I'm just going to connect down to the bottom here, and then with a gas bridge going straight up, like so. That should be all I need to do over there. Now, I still need to modify these parts a bit for the raised floor. And the power is the same. Once that is out of the way, I can then replace it 1 layer up. The same is for the automation wire. Down like so. And now I can put in a mesh tile floor. Just like that, we should be done with the natural gas generators, more or less. Then, let's continue. I need a couple petroleum generators. Let's go with 5. That should work out quite nicely. Yep, 5. And then I have the perfect space left over for a liquid pump. Right here. Which also needs to be powered. Just like that. Then, I need a couple pipes. The output pipe for the pump and the input pipe for the petroleum later on. And now, while we're waiting on the last few generators to be built, let's start planning out a cooling system, since especially those generators here produce a lot of heat. So I am going to start with some conductive joint plates, which I'm going to place here and then to higher and then another one there. Then let's connect those with the wire from the bottom. And then let's go over here. This will be, let's actually go with igneous rock, will be our steam chamber. Right here. 5 wide. Yep, that looks good. And then the beginnings of the ceiling for that. I am going to need some petroleum and water in there, so let's put in a bottle emptier. I will also need the aqua tuner out of steel. Let's place that one there. It will need power. And a thermosensor, which goes right there. Let's connect that. Then I'm going to grab myself a couple of liquid bridges. Place them right here. Then the input pipe. And the output pipe. Output pipe cools the steam turbine. And then it also cools whatever is down here in a big loop. Then we go back up, like so. I think I'm also going to add a couple radiant pipes, so I cool all of this down a bit more efficiently. Just like so. Yeah, that should do the trick. Then I'm going to need some water, which I can grab myself through these pipes right here. I will also need the output for the steam turbine, which goes straight in here. And then I need to go down from there. And that should be all I need. Except I still need the vacuum over there. And for that I'm going to be a bit lazy. And once the saving is done at least, I'm going to grab myself a mini gas pump. Come on. So, I'm going to grab myself a mini gas pump and put that in there. I'll leave that in there since this is just a temporary build and I'm not going to bother with making it look nice. So, it's not yet connected, but once this here is closed off, I will connect it and get a vacuum going. And a little bit later, the cooling system is now properly running, as you can see. I went with 30 degrees as the target temperature since the carbon dioxide down here is rather bad at exchanging heat. So I went a bit lower than usual. But now I think it's definitely time to start dealing with the polluted water that's accumulating down at the floor. So let's grab a pipe and run that straight down into our purification floor, then over. And in here I'm going to grab myself a water sieve, place it there. That's the input, and then we have the output, which goes over here, then down. And then I need to go down here and into this pipe there. Then let's grab a couple of bridges. I also need a priority output going towards the left. While I'm here, I might as well build the pipe for the petroleum coming down. Like so. Let's wait until we know where it's going actually. Then I am also going to put in some automation. So let's start with the loader and the receptacle. Then I'm going to grab myself a sweeper. I'm actually going to start with the sweeper. And then comes the loader and the receptacle. Now let's grab the power wire. And that is then going straight over. Here I'm going to grab a bridge and place that in there. And that bridge should be done first, of course. Because at the moment all of these here are no longer powered, which is a bit of a problem. But that should rectify itself pretty soon. Anyway, I still need the conveyor rails, so let's grab those and place them in like this. Now with the water sieve running, it's time to think about what to do with all of this clean water. But before I start on that, I'll first get rid of this former decontamination chamber. It's no longer needed, and without a chlorine atmosphere, it's not even functional. And that's looking much cleaner already. Now, let's grab a pipe and run our water all the way to the bottom, although let's avoid this down here, so let's detour a little bit to the left, and then, yeah, let's go straight down here. Correspondingly, we still need the pipe for the petroleum, which goes up, and since the petroleum will be produced at the bottom of the map, I'm going actually a bit lower than the water. Just down to this spot for now. Then, the next step is actually digging out the area around those oil reservoirs here. And while doing so, I should make sure that I avoid all zombie spores, for example, in this area here. Now, the polluted oxygen is not a problem, but the crude oil here. Fortunately, it's not enough, so, or not a lot, so I'm just going to put 2 tiles here, then a third one once those are in place there, and then the fourth one in this spot. And that way I can avoid this here producing any more zombie spores and polluting the area around. But I think this is the only one in this kind of general area here. Yeah, there is still more around. This one here will be a bit of a problem later on, but we'll come to that when we come to that. And there is even more here, and yeah, there is even some more there. Okay, so, but as I said, for now, I am just going to dig out the area around those 3 oil reservoirs here. And that's this part planned out. Now, I have a high stress warning over on Duplicants, so let's have a look what this is about. So, let's see. Sopping wet, nothing much I can do there. Chilly surroundings also not. Popped air drums. Why is the air pressure so... Ah, okay, I see. We have hydrogen gas, which is confusing the gas vent up there, and that is inputting way too much oxygen over here. So, that means I have to very quickly rectify the situation, so I am going to put 1 and maybe even 2, yeah, gas vents in place. And then I'm just going to change that part up. And this one here has to go, similarly to that part, and I'm just going to snip this off for now to avoid any more issues there. So, yeah, let's get this done, and that should avoid at least one of the sources for stress. Although I might want to actually add a message room or table at least somewhere on the map. Yeah, let's put one here. And let's connect it to the power there. Yeah. And also, let's make sure this is built. Next. And the crisis is averted. So, now let's go back to Albano and continue working on our power situation. Okay, after way too many cycles, I now have all of this here dug out. I am still dealing with a spot of polluted water over here that was part of a geode that formed there, which is also flushing out a lot of polluted oxygen into this chamber here. So my current plan is first getting rid of the polluted water, and then I can get rid of all of this polluted oxygen in there. But while I'm waiting on that, I want to deal with this crude oil here, which is full of zombie spores, as well as the carbon dioxide above it, which is pretty annoying, especially since getting rid of all of this polluted or germy crude oil can be a bit tedious, except I have enough space below it that I can just put in another door crusher. Come on, let me do this. So no overheat temperature, so I can use copper for that. Won't really matter much. I still need to get in there. So let's dig out all of this here. Then I'm going to need a little bit of automation. And a timer. Where is the timer? There's the timer. So. Okay, let's get this done. And then let's get this whole mini chamber here evacuated. Another 10 cycles in, we now have finally a vacuum. Also thanks to the 2 slicksters which found their way in here while I was dealing with some germy crude oil. But that means I can now finally remove the door crusher and also those tiles here. And finally put in the missing ladders. So let's place all of that. And now also I can dig out the last of those missing tiles here. Okay. Now, furthermore, as you can see, I've planned out the digging for the top part of the oil biome with special care for those chambers with the spore shits in them. This will be a bit tedious, but shouldn't be too difficult if I'm careful about that. And with that said, I think it's a good point to actually start working on those oil reservoirs here. Now, since those three are close together, I'm going to put them in the same enclosure. And the first thing I need are the oil wells on top. So let's place them just like that. Then let's start with the one at the bottom here. This one will be raised on top of mesh tiles. And then I will build an enclosure, and I might as well use ceramic, since this is going to be decently warm inside. Just making sure the bottom is done before the mesh tiles, so everything is reachable. Then I need one liquid pump, and I might as well make this out of steel, since as I said, this might get a bit warm on the inside. Then, just to make sure it works only if there is crude oil in there, I'm going to use a hydro sensor. Connect those. Then I need to go up. And yep, that's the correct height. So I will go over here, then over there. Here I also need a little bit of a reservoir. And then at the top there, I'm going to put in the reservoir like so. And then I'm just going to... come on. Let's put that back in there. And now let's put that in like so. Yeah, that looks good. Then I still need to reach everything. And also with a higher priority, so my tubes don't get caught on the inside. Some plastic ladders. I also need one more tile in this spot. And before I forget about them, I also need temp shift plates on top of those spigots. Just to make sure that when my tubes release the natural gas that accumulates in those oil wells, that will not heat up the water inside of the oil wells to the boiling point. That is somewhat important. Now, I also need a gas pump, and this is also going to be out of steel, because I don't want this to overheat. Then, again, automation, atmo sensor right there, connected to like so. Then I need a power grid. So this goes down there, then over here, and then down there and over there. Let's make it like that. That looks a bit better. So then I need the pipe for the water, and as I said, this might get a bit warm on the inside, so I'm going with ceramic. Down there. Yeah, that looks good. And the output will be the crude oil, which goes straight out like so. Yeah, that should do the trick quite nicely. Okay, now I need an airlock, or to be more precise, 2 liquid locks, and yeah, I'm going to... this was not the correct spacing. I need to go like so, I would say. Yeah, that looks better. That looks much better already. Yeah, that's good. Then 3 high, 3 high. That looks like a decent water lock. Now over here I should make sure that the floor is done first, because I need a raised floor so I can put in a proper atmo suit checkpoint here. And I don't think I'm ever going to need more than maybe 2 of those. So that should be definitely enough of those. What do I want to put this on the floor? You know what? I'm just going to put this on the floor once the saving is done at least. So let's Get this show on the road, come on. This is taking absolute ages. Okay, now. Atmosphere checkpoint and atmosphere docks. Okay, that is. This looks strange. I'm going to put this up there. It just looks a bit strange, but come on. That looks the best, I think. Okay, so then let's start with the gas pipes. Those two here will need oxygen, which I will grab from over there once this here is actually running. I'm also going to need some power. So let's grab that power connected to the bottom there. I am also going to need, as I said, water, which I might as well also grab through here and then connect with this up there. For now, I'm going to disconnect this since I don't want those to run yet. I have already enough crude oil lying around without those running. Okay, this one here is the petroleum, which will come from further below. So let's for now just go on the outside down. That should be sufficient. I also need some crude oil in here. So for now, I'm going to keep this open, put crude oil in there, which I might as well grab myself with a pitcher pump. Let's say over here. Let's keep that open for now on the side here. And then I can get the crude oil in there. And once I have enough, I can close this off again. Okay, that's looking quite good. Anything I forgot about? Yeah, power. Okay, as I said, I need power. And the power grid this wire comes from is not sufficient to power all of this. So I'm going to need another transformer. And where do I want to place this? I think I'm just going to place this there. Yeah, that looks good. This is still a temporary solution. I have something a bit more elaborate planned for later. But until then, we are going to just run a wire all the way to here. Then I'm going to snip this off there. And then I can run the wire straight down like so. Yeah, that should be all I need. And now let's worry about the gas pipes. So this one here will be rather warm. So at least on the outside, I'm going to need insulated pipes going out. Yeah, that should be pretty much all I need. And now I just need to wait until all of this here is being built. So there we go. The setup for the 3 oil wells here is pretty much done. The only thing missing is drawing a vacuum, and then I can close off the vacuum chamber for the double liquid lock. Now, while I'm waiting on that, my dupes may as well continue digging at the top there. And once this is done and I have finished up there, we'll have to continue a bit further down. And we're more or less done with the digging over here, except for the topmost layer. But as you can see, we managed to remove all of the spore chits without releasing any zombie spores at all. Now, let's actually go to the setup down here, because I noticed one little issue, and that is I have some less nickel ladders in place, but I still won't be able to actually get my dupes down here, so I'll have to move all of this a little bit over. So I need to get rid of these and place them in the correct position. Now, while my dupes are working on that, let's actually have a look at what we can print out. Maybe there is something useful. Flood to land, nope. Digging doctor, not. Can't dig, also not. Let's go for the aluminium ore. Okay, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then let's see this up. And now let's see if my dupes have already done the job. No, not really. But while we're waiting on that, let's actually start planning out the theme for the oil reservoir here. So I'm going to start with the oil well there, the temp shift plate below the spigot, then the mesh tiles. Then I'm going to grab myself some insulated tiles, which need to go up to this layer at least. Then over here. Then here I will have the floor. Then I need to go up and down. No, not like that. Like that. Let's just wait until the saving is done. So, that is basically the primary layout for my airlock. Another one will later on be there. Then I have my bowl empty in this spot. Over here I need a atmosuit checkpoint. And one atmosuit should be well enough. Over here I need that space, so let's get rid of that here. Now, gas pump out of steel right there. Connected to an atmo sensor right here. Then a hydro sensor there, and the pump will be below. Then I'm going to need some power. Let's go just straight through here. Then over there, and for now I'm going to connect this with this wire here, since I still need to draw a vacuum in on the inside there. At least so I get a vacuum chamber in this area. What am I still missing here? The pipes. Obviously the pipes. So, I need the water to come in from over here. Not like that. So, I need insulated pipe out of ceramic over here. And that is a vacuum chamber starting here. So I can from here on continue with normal pipes. Or do I want to go a bit lower? Let's leave it like that for now. Then I will have the output of the pump here. Yeah, let's go through the wall and then down. I can always change this later on. And then finally the gas pump. Going straight down. And for now also straight up and into a high pressure vent, so I can actually draw a vacuum on the inside here. And now just setting the priorities straight. So this here is built first, and then I can start working on the internals. And there we go, this is now finished. As you might have noticed, I was able to shorten this a tiny bit by moving this part over one block to the left. And I also have already a vacuum in there. So this is basically done. It just needs to be connected to the various grids. But as I said, I'm going to do this not now. Now, the next thing that is on the agenda would be digging downwards, but it's getting a bit late for me. So I'm going to just do one last thing, which is putting in an insulation layer at this height here. And once that's in place, I'm going to get rid of this barrier here. And then I'm going to start clearing all of the debris that's currently lying around in this area here. And that's a wrap. As you can see, now I have nice oxygen in this area instead of the natural gas I had earlier. Now there is some polluted oxygen at the top there, but I'm not going to bother with that right now, even if it produces some slime lung for my base. But, as I said, this was the last step I wanted to do in this session. And yeah, I think I'm just going to stop at this point here, and I'm going to continue next time with finishing the power production loop. And with that, all that's left for me to say is that I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, and comment if you did so. It really helps with the algorithm. Independent of that, I wish you a nice day, and well, see ya!